main challenge now for us in the 21st century, our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents worked hard to create all this infrastructure. The United States is fortunate that we've had the services provided by that heavy civil and social infrastructure for decades, when a lot of other countries haven't. So we've had the mobility, we've had the electricity, we've had the communications with telephone, we've had the clean water. Now our challenge is, how do we take care of it? How do we better operate it? How do we better maintain it? One of the main problems we have in the United States now is deferred maintenance, where the cities and the counties, and in some cases the states that own this infrastructure, have deferred maintenance on some of this, in some cases for years and decades, that it's falling apart. So that we need to do a better job of operating it, maintaining it. And the third piece is, across these sectors, there's a whole host of new technologies that are not speculative or risky. They're proven, patented technologies: LED street lights, smart stoplights, new types of concrete, new types of asphalt, and sensors embedded in a lot of infrastructure that provides you more data on the performance of the infrastructure. The challenge we face now is getting the state and local asset owners, the governments that actually own this infrastructure, to adopt these new technologies. And so those three challenges: better operating the infrastructure, better maintaining it, and technological adoption, I think, are the three key elements of what the United States faces in the 21st century. And so there's a set of things that can be done, I think, to facilitate that. There's no silver bullet. There's no panacea, that where you throw the switch and automatically everything's going to be perfect. It's not that world in infrastructure. It's marginal improvements, ways that you can improve delivery that will help with the operation, maintenance, and the technological adoption rate for a lot of these infrastructure owners. One of those I like is project bundling. And by that I mean bundling different elements of project delivery together. So a very basic one is design and construction, and that could be for renovating an old facility or building a new one. So the United States for decades has relied on what's called design, bid, build. And that's where the public asset owner knows they need a new bridge, they need a new tunnel, they need a new airport, and they will contract out the design, and they will pick the design they like. Then they will pick out the construction of that design separately, and that's design, bid, build. It's kind of done, I assume, to get you to least cost construction. Of course, now we're living with decades of least cost construction. What most other countries do at a basic level of bundling is bundle design and construction together into a DB, a design build contract. The state of New York did that for the Tappan Zee Bridge, which was unusual for the state, but it was considered a success. And you can take the concept of bundling much further. The next step is a long-term contract that bundles design and construction in with O&M, and that's called a DBOM or a DBOM. So that could be 20 or 30 years, where part of the contract is to maintain and operate the infrastructure up to a certain contractually defined standard. And if you deviate from that standard, there's penalties in the contract. The nice thing about that is it could help reduce deferred maintenance. So the private partner with the public owner would have to ensure that the infrastructure is maintained to a certain standard. The other thing that's nice about a DBOM is it can mandate a certain level of technology. It can require that the private operator, who maybe has a better command of that technology, adopts that in the contract. And so a DBOM contract can get you to a higher level or faster rate of technological adoption. The next step is to include financing, which is a DBFOM contract, and there's advantages to having private finance bundled in with this. And a number of projects around the world are being delivered as DBFOM projects. So I think the United States could move in that direction. The second one I would say is project wrapping. It's different from bundling. It's taking a number of small projects that a public owner might have to do and wrapping them into one big contract and then bidding out that contract. My favorite is the Pennsylvania Rapid Bridge Replacement Project, which wrapped 558 pretty rural bridges in the state of Pennsylvania. That might be small projects individually, but when they wrapped that together in one big project, it was almost $1 billion in contract size. So that was able to attract private global companies to come in and do the bridge replacements much quicker than if the state itself had to replace each project. So I think the United States could do more of this wrapping, and that would more quickly improve outdated infrastructure.